We do all that. Put that there.
All right.
See, you know something, bro.
Podcast you watch. Like I said, this year I want to do some different stuff, bro.
So it's cool, like the podcast from cause I used to I made fun of my homeboy one time. He was like, "Yo, I was watching this podcast," and it's like, bro, you don't watch podcasts. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
We're in a
Different.
So the error, right? So the communication. Some people are like videos.
Right.
Some people like audio. Some people like reading. So like the bloggers, you know what I mean? Like they all got a platform.
Right.
Yeah, you tell me you can hear it?
Yeah.
So look, check 1 2.
You hear me?
Yup.
Good.
Yeah. Now we're here. Just like that.
We on.
We here.
Live.
The question is, how did we get here? Right? So how did we get here? It's a question you gotta ask yourself. You gotta ask yourself that question often. But it's cool to just sit down with your homeboy and be like, yo, how did we get here? Like we sitting here, we about to wrap it up. That question is very, very important. Real quick, how did I get here? How did I get here? We will go, boom, start from the beginning. 87, born. Fast forward, high school, 2006. College, 2010. Played some football. Became a teacher, high school track and football coach.
Right.
2013, 2012. That summer, made a decision. I'm open my own spot. 2013, 2015, spend that time on Delsey Drive, growing the community. Showing up every single day.
Every day we here.
2015 to present, this is our second location, right? Podcast, I'm still practicing. You go back, we've been talking about practice. Like this setup seems cool, bro, but it started with just talking into the phone.
Right.
You hear the keys in the background on the truck because I'm doing it while I'm driving.
Right.
Podcast kind of blew up in the last couple of years. So I found like I saw everybody else doing it. And I'm like, my shit don't sound that clear. How they get it to sound that clear?
Trial and error.
They got video going with the podcast. Now I can't make fun of my homeboy because he watched them record the podcast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Corona hit. I had to get a job. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Remember when I got that job? Yo, I had to get a job, right? So this has been my life.
Right.
I ain't never did nothing else. I was a teacher, and then I did this. I was a football player. I was a teacher. I was a coach, and then now I'm open the gym.
Right.
I had to get a job. Didn't have to get a job. I made the decision to get a job. We're employed by the same people.
Absolutely.
Summer, hot. I'm weed whacking. Y'all remember when I was weed whacking?
I remember.
Y'all remember when I was weed whacking, right? So on this job, there's this thing called a flagman. I'm weed whacking. I'm close to the railroad. If you don't know, I'm telling you right now, right? So when I was working that summer job, I was weed whacking, and if you're so many feet from the rail, someone has to be there to be your eyes, or lookout, the watchman. And I'm sitting with this guy right now who was my watchman for a whole summer.
And that's how I'm here.
And now we're here. What's your name?
All right, my name is Thomas Kennedy. I go by TK. And like Ryan said, I met him this past summer. It's a small world because I know a lot of people that actually know Ryan. And, we linked up at the Riverline. Mm-hmm. I was his watchman. I was actually holding down that job. I operate trains for a living. Right. And I was holding down that job once Corona hit. We went to a half-hour schedule, and that was just a job that was open for. It really wasn't a time limit on it, and I jumped on it because it was Monday to Friday, and I got to go around with landscapers and make sure they were clear of the rail when the trains came.
Yeah, he was doing his job, but he was just watching us.
It was the easiest job I ever had in my life. Literally just watching guys, like a babysitter.
But a very, very important job.
Absolutely.
Because that train be coming through there.
And you can't hear it.
Can't hear it.
It creep up on you.
Fast that thing is very, very quiet.
Absolutely.
And you drive it.
Yeah. So how did I get there?
Yeah.
So 2009, I was a sophomore in college.
Okay.
And I went to Benedict College, Columbia, South Carolina. And summers I would come home and I used to work for this temp agency. Making a long story short, I got into it with a foreman at a job, and I just left. So I reached out to my aunt. She's a banker and she knows a lot of contractors. And I said, hey, you know anybody that's got any work? She said, actually, I do. This guy I know, he runs a cleaning company for New Jersey Transit. So she linked me with him, and he's a real good friend of mine, this guy named Drew. And I went to the job. He said, meet me there at 7 o'clock. So I met him at the 36th Street station right there at Vitamin. And I'm like suited and booted, thinking it's going to be like an interview.
Right.
And Drew's like, I don't know what you look like. I don't know this guy. He's like, I don't know what you got all that on for. You're going to work right now.
Yeah.
And they put me right to work, and I was a cleaner. So I would do that. You know, me and him built a strong relationship, and he would allow me to come back every summer and Christmas break when I was away at college. So I would come home and be able to keep some money in my pocket. So fast forward 2012, I graduate, and I come home summer 2012 from South Carolina, and I'm looking for a job in my field, which was therapeutic recreation. I'm not gonna get into it, very broad field, but nothing was really paying what I was looking for. And he let me know that they were hiring for operators. Now, I had been doing that since '09, cleaning them, so I always had in the back of my mind, like, I would never operate these trains. You know what I mean? Because I kind of knew what it was about.
Right.
But at that time, you know, I just found out about my daughter, and it was okay. Got to get the ball rolling, get a real job.
Yeah.
And I applied. He turned my resume in, and ultimately I ended up getting the job. So skip a little forward. Well, actually, when I first got hired there, like I said, I knew about the railroad and how the hierarchy went from top to bottom. So when I got hired, I told myself, you know, I want a white shirt. Supervisor, train master, road foreman, they wore white shirts.
Right.
So I told myself from day one, if I'm going to be in the railroad, that's what I'm going to strive to do. I want to be a supervisor. So I said to myself, 5 years in, the next 5 years, I'm going to soak up everything like a sponge. I'm going to learn everything I possibly can. I'm going to bust my ass, and I'm going to be a supervisor. Fast forward, 5 years later, it doesn't look too good, right? Everybody that's in a supervisor position is fairly young. They're locked in. It doesn't seem like they're going anywhere.
Right.
5 years and 6 months, so 6 months after that, my supervisor comes to me, he says, yo, T, I'm leaving. I'm staying with the company, but I'm going to Orlando.
Right.
Put in for train master. So I put in along with 12 other people, and
That's a pool.
I get it,
Ooh.
right? So, and nobody thought I had a shot of getting it.
Right.
But I knew I had a shot of getting it. You know what I mean? I just believed
He's a
in
champion.
myself.
He's a champion.
So I ended up getting it, and you know, some things happened. I held that job for 10 weeks. There was a small group of people that didn't approve of me getting this promotion over people that had seniority on me, had more years in, more experience, quote unquote. So they went above management's heads and went to corporate, right? And I'm not gonna get into details, but they pulled a fast one, and corporate held my offer letter. So even if after I had the job for 10 weeks, they never took me from payroll, like from hourly to salary. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they pretty much just told me straight up, like, look, we apologize, but it's coming from the higher ups, and you can't have this position. So rather than act a donkey, you know, I just took it on the chin and said, okay, well, what's next? You know what I mean? I maintained my professionalism through it all, and but boy, I was hot, steaming like that. That was at that point in my life. I was here because that's all I wanted to do.
So what keeps you level-headed like that? How do you?
I would say.
What was on your mind? Like, what kept you grounded?
My grandfathers, man. One is still living, one passed away, but those were two solid dudes that I had throughout my life that just prepare me for moments like that. Obviously, a lot more serious things, but you know, they just molded me throughout my young childhood on how to handle things when you become a man. You know, like my one grandfather always says, like, life ain't easy for a man.
Right.
And nobody ever said it was. So if you think it's going to be easy, you're going to have some problems on your hands.
You're one of the few that thinks it is.
You know what I mean? So back to that story. At that time, mind you, I grew up an athlete, but with the railroad and the schedule I was working crazy overtime, I got away from the gym. But at that time, I was so frustrated at what had happened.
Right.
I'm going to work every day and I'm eating, I'm eating that. You know what I mean? Knowing it should be me,
Right.
and there's some other guy that
In
I
your
beat
face,
up.
like, yeah.
Yeah, so I just started going back to the gym every day. You know what I mean? I got my cousin to come with me, and he's former D1 athlete, and we just he put me on one of his programs, and we just banging weights every day, just getting it in. I started dipping back in, dabbling with boxing, and my body started to change again. Like I started to, feel like that 16, 17-year-old kid, and I noticed it, and I'm like, we can really get something going.
Yeah.
And throughout the whole, thing with the job, I just kept telling myself, like, it's all right, I can. And if obviously my brand
Right.
is, it's called You Can. That's the name of my brand. It stands for You Chose Another Narrative. So,
Say that again.
You chose another
I
narrative.
couldn't wait to understand what I that's beautiful.
I mean, because ultimately we control our story.
Say it again.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things are going to happen in our life that we can't control. But, what we may think is a setback, right, ultimately could be a get back to step up. You know what I mean? So, back to how I came up with You Can. I kept telling myself, I can, no matter what, I can. And, I'm going in there, I'm banging these weights, and I'm just releasing all the stress in the gym. That was my outlet. So I said, let me see if I can come up with a logo and a name and some meaning behind it.
Right.
So I rode that train for like 2 weeks straight. I was there, but I wasn't. I was zoned out trying to think of a name.
Yeah.
So, like I was saying, I can, ICAN. That's trademark.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's somebody already has that. Then I was thinking the letter UCAN. Somebody already has that. So then I was like, well, what if I do Why You Can?
Right.
Why You Can?
You can. Tell me why you can.
Exactly.
I want to hear why you can.
Why You Can?
I want to talk about why
Don't
you
tell me
can't
why
do
you
something.
can't.
I ain't trying to hear it.
Absolutely.
I don't want to hear it. Don't talk to me about what you can't do.
Absolutely. And you can act now.
Right.
Why wait?
What are you waiting for?
Wait broke the wagon. You know what I mean? Don't let that go over your head. So ultimately, man, that's how the brand came about. You Can, and I sell fitness apparel, and it's not just like for your typical everyday. It's for anybody. It's not just I'm not like geared to one type of person or athlete. It's for anybody that wants to take control of their life, of their story.
Right.
And that was big for me, being able to start a brand. I had no intentions on ever being a business owner.
Right.
And had that not happened at my job or our job, I still would have been trying to climb through the ranks of the railroad. That was my sole goal, was to continue to climb the ladder in the railroad. If that doesn't happen, I never entertain.
So you just took the passion and put the energy somewhere else.
Exactly.
Because you said, I'm coming out with a white shirt.
Exactly.
I'm gonna get a white shirt. He made a decision. He made a decision. I'm assuming you came up with some type of plan,
Absolutely.
and then you executed.
Absolutely.
So it's the same formula. So this podcast is really just me talking to myself, and everything we're talking about right now, it's about incantations, about how you talk to yourself.
It's important.
What is the conversation in your head? And understand that you have control. You can control that narrative. You said it earlier. You could have went nuts when they played you on the job.
And they probably expected me to.
And you could have, and then we're gonna get him out of here anyway. But he took a deep breath, and you realize, all right, I can go here, or I can go there, and you made a decision.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do your decisions run parallel with what your goals are. What's the goal for you, Ken, next?
So, the goal for you, Ken, is to reach as many people as possible in as many states as possible. Right now, I've sold apparel in 18 different states.
That's dope.
You know, and locally, I feel like it's become a very recognizable brand in Camden County, let's say.
Right. I seen it on the kid. I seen it on the kid.
Oh,
I seen it on the kid. I said,
that's dope.
I said, I know that. I know that. So where you get that?
Yeah.
He said, my dad gave it to me. I said, okay. So he did. So this is doing warm up, right?
Yeah,
He doing high
yeah,
knees down. He run by me. I said, your dad gave you that shirt. So I get a little more information from him.
Right.
I said, well, where'd your dad get it from?
Right.
Oh, the guy he works with, something. I said, oh, so your dad works with the guy that gave him that shirt.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I'm starting to figure something out here.
Yeah, Jeremy, that's my guy.
That's dope to be like a brand and what you stand for is you can touch anybody in the world,
Right.
especially with the world we live in now. We got the World Wide Web, right? So I see that logo and it triggers me to think of only you and that's your brother? You got a crew, right?
Yeah. So I have two business partners. My brother, who also works with us, and then my cousin.
Okay. Yeah. And me, the interactions that I've had with you, I'm like, this dude clearly is into fitness. He's doing something. We ain't never really dug into nothing.
Right.
He's repping his brand. So this is how we get here. I'm paying attention. You said we want a podcast. I want to talk to people that are doing something.
Right.
I want everybody to tell their story.
Right.
And if you have a story with a brand and like you're doing something, I'll bring somebody in here that has an idea. I got young boy J. Lou Jumps. Oh, he gonna love this. I know he watching.
Hey.
J. Lou Jumps came in here. My young boy.
Yeah.
Coach team, high school track. I gotta leave, coach. I'm trying. Like I want to do something. Do it.
That's all there's to it. That's all there's to it.
Do it.
Start now.
Right now.
Start now.
Right now. The man, he came back. I think it might have been on Friday. He came back on Monday. Or I seen it. He makes an Instagram immediately. I said, he's serious. He's serious. National champion. He's got the name. So this is the conversation where I'm like, stop asking and waiting for permission.
Yo. Absolutely.
We got all these ideas. Anything formed in this earth was once an idea and it came true.
Right.
You got all these ideas. All you have to do is do it.
Facts.
Set goals. Make them happen.
Bro, I'm a firm believer in manifestation.
I'm learning about
Making
it.
things into existence.
Yep.
In my life, personally, I spoke my wife into existence. I spoke that promotion into existence. I spoke my second business, which I just started this past month, into existence. Money, even though money's not what drives me. When I was young, when I first graduated college, I used to say to myself, I used to think $100,000 was a ton of money, right? And I used to say to myself, one day I'm gonna make $100 grand, one day I'm gonna make $100 grand. But I just keep beating that in my head, right? And the older I got, the more money I started to make, I realized this isn't what it's cracked up to be. You know what I mean? And I felt like I was doing, I was grinding and grinding and grinding for that company. Right? For all the wrong reasons. I was chasing that dollar. I don't love what we
Because
do.
you knew the white shirt
Right.
at least paid X amount of dollars. Yo, you know what I'm realizing? Talk about practice. Sometimes you gotta call a timeout. I ain't even got shit. We ain't even look. This is a little production, bro. I learned all.
Yeah. There it is.
I learned what we doing.
There it go.
See
Leaf
that?
show. I like that, though.
He said he didn't even mean to be a businessman. Tell me about that.
So, again, had that not happened, that situation, I would have never entertained it. And you can start it out, literally, man, as a thought. And it was, all right, I want to make a shirt for me, not to sell. You know what I mean? It was like, I want to make a shirt that says you can. And it started with a cricket machine and an iron. You know what I mean? Like, that's what me and my wife, that's what we were doing. And you know, that just led to so many other things because, you know, a couple people got their eyes on it, like, oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you like that? I'm like, yeah, it's catchy. What's it mean? You
Right,
know what I mean?
right.
And, you know, once I explained it to him, it was like, yo, don't stop.
Yeah.
More than a few people told me that. Just keep going. Don't stop. And that's all I needed to hear. You know what I mean? And this ultimately was through trial and error. I've had UChem for 3 years now. And, you know, I'll talk a little bit about my other business that I just started. It's an HVAC company.
So that.
And my partner, he's been doing HVAC for like 16 years, and he works for a pretty big HVAC company. And he's their lead guy. He makes a lot of money, but he's not happy.
Right.
But he also works on his own on the side, right?
Right.
So about 2 years ago, we're at a barbecue, and I'm like, we're talking about work, and I'm like, bro, you do all this side work. You work 7 days a week, 5 at your job, 2 days on the weekend for you.
Right.
I was like, why don't you start your own business? You have the knowledge,
Right.
you have the tools, you have everything necessary to start a business, right? And he's like, oh man, you know, I want to, but I'm not sure if that's what I want to do right now. So I'm like, okay. You know, I just put that seed in his, just planted it.
Right.
So then we were down for my bachelor party back in November of 2020 in Miami, and we talked. I had all my boys. It was 5 of us, all him included. Had them geared up. We got UChem on. We just started talking about the business, and I said, "Man, you got to start your own business." He's like, "Yeah, man, you know." So we talked about it. He's like, "Why don't we start together?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Bro, I don't have an HVAC background." He's like, "Nah, like we'll go 50-50. You handle everything on the back end, and I'll handle the work."
Team.
So I said, okay. He's like, you know, you got the experience on how to run a business, so let's do it.
Right.
I thought he was joking. You know, a couple of weeks go by after we get back home, and he's like, yo, what's up? Like, let's do it. I said, say no more, bro.
Yeah.
I did what I had to do, made the phone calls, got it done.
Yeah.
D&T Prime Climate Control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're rolling.
Made it real.
Made it real.
You
I
gave it an identity.
Made it real. Yeah.
This is dope because it's got a story.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Tell your story. Just tell your story, no matter how you think it is being perceived or whatever, even what you think of your story. Keep telling your story, because the more you tell your story, the more you will become aware of your story. And the more you're aware of your story, you can start to alter that story and manifest these things into your life. Right? So tell your story. Don't be scared to tell your story. It might hurt to tell your story. Some of us are up here, some of us are down here. But keep telling your story, because you're going to end up where you want to be.
Bro, I love that you said that. You know, there's so many people that say, oh, don't speak about your moves. Don't tell these people about your moves. Move in silence, which is cool, right? You wanna move. There's a time and place for everything. You wanna move in silence, but I personally believe if you don't talk about what you're trying to do, right, and what you're doing, you're not speaking life into it.
No.
I'm not ashamed to tell anybody about what I got going on, right? Because I'm proud of what I'm doing.
Right.
And if Joe Schmo isn't, that's him. You know what I mean? This is what I got going on. This is what I'm trying to build. And you can't allow other people's energy affect what you're trying to do.
Yep.
So talk about it.
Yep.
Whatever you're doing, talk about it. You know, put it in the atmosphere. Make it real. Bring it to life.
Bring it to life.
Exactly. And if you don't, you know, like I used to always, my grandfather that passed away used to always tell me, don't be afraid to take risks, right? And that's been sticking with me for years, but it's really been resonating with me lately. Like, you know, like, just do it, right? Like, there's no reason why, right? So, you know, when I first started UChem, I didn't know anything. I didn't know what an LLC was, right? I didn't know, you know, like, okay, what a 1099 was. I didn't know, you know, there's so much stuff that goes into it that I didn't know. You know, I didn't know where to buy my apparel from, how to, you know, it was just like, it was from the ground up, but you learn as you go.
Yeah.
That's not a, not knowing isn't a reason to be afraid and not do.
Right.
It's a reason to be courageous and figure it out.
Jump.
You know what I mean?
So, we'll go back. I'm a teacher. I thought that's what I wanted. I wanted to be a high school football coach. I wanted to be a teacher. That was the dream. Get in there, coaching school. But then politics as usual. And I didn't see myself being in that space for the next 40 years of my life.
Right.
Because I'm not doing anything half-assed. And I want to be enjoying what it is that I'm doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I couldn't imagine living a life to where spending so much time in a place that was going to drain me that I don't know if it was filling me.
Right.
So I found CrossFit. I was playing football.
Mm-hmm.
So I was training to get in shape for the football season. And that's how I found CrossFit. 2 seasons of arena football. Done with football. Now I'm like, I'm coaching.
Yeah.
Went to a banquet one time. Shirt on, dress, you know what I'm saying? Young boy said, "Coach, you getting a belly, ain't you?"
Took him out.
I said, "Oh my God." So I decided to get back in shape. Went back to the same place out, CrossFit One Force. Shout out CrossFit One Force. I got my certification. I'm happy about this. I let people know, like, this is what I got, this certification.
Right.
I think I probably posted on Facebook. Homegirl said, can you train me? Yeah. Come to the school. We running around the track.
Right.
Then we sneaking in and out the building. Like, summertime. She says, can she bring a friend? Friend comes. Now, the friend comes with the checkbook immediately.
Right.
So when you said you didn't want to be, I don't know how business.
Right. And at that point, you probably weren't even thinking
Not
about
even
the
a
check.
thought.
Yeah, that's because you love it. You understand? That's because you loved it.
Love it. And I'm listening to a book right now, The Science of Getting Rich. And it's change your brain, your thought from competitive to creative.
Right.
Provide value. That's all I did. I provided value. And I showed up.
Right.
I didn't stop showing up.
Right.
And every time a friend came, another friend brought somebody.
There it is.
Now, it's like August, and I got 15 people showing up in the park every single day, on a daily basis, at a park with very minimum equipment. And I said, if I go back to school right now, I'm gonna lose all this momentum. I don't know what next summer's gonna look like.
Right.
I made the decision, wrote the letter. I haven't heard from the school since.
Yeah.
So that right there, you can be replaced.
Right,
What you think? You think you going like, oh, it's security in the job, right? But you ain't doing it for the love of the job, because you will be replaced. And signed a lease 2013 in August, and friends just been bringing friends ever since.
Yeah.
And it's grown into whatever
Now
it is
look at
today. And this is just where we're at.
Right.
Like this was definitely a goal at one time. I want to set a podcast when I was sitting at that table and when I only had one little. I didn't know I was learning.
Right.
Right. So I had a goal, but now we're here, and we ain't. I'm looking around like, bro, this ain't even set up right yet.
Right.
We forgot to turn the lights on.
We're not done. Because it's like when you reach a certain point, right? It's like, motivated individuals, when they reach a certain point, a goal that they had set out, when you get there, it doesn't stop.
Right.
It's like, what's next?
Right.
What can I go and get now?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Checkpoints. We're calling them checkpoints from now on.
I like that.
Set goals and make them happen.
Right.
The goal is a check-in. Now, how did I get here? I'm on top of my mountain. How did I get up here? Take that evaluation.
Right.
What do I need to keep doing? I could probably make a couple tweaks over here. What do I need to stop doing? And what can I do next
Right. Right.
to continue on?
Right.
Because it's another mountain.
Absolutely.
Climb it.
Absolutely.
Keep climbing.
Absolutely.
We ain't done. And understand that when you're at the top, there's higher to go. If you're at the bottom, ain't nowhere to go but up.
Exactly.
So again, stop talking to me about these excuses.
Start now.
Start. Because you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Because you can.
Absolutely. 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 How did we get here?
How we get here?
I like that.
That's dope, man. And I'm glad you agreed to come sit down because, like I said, I just wanted to
Yeah,
acknowledge
man.
you.
Had to.
You're doing something. The branding and all that. Like, you got to school me. I need a dad hat with the X on it. Like,
Yeah, got you, bro.
So
absolutely.
that's what this is about too. If I have a platform, I want to provide a platform for growth, right? Come sit down and teach me something.
Right.
Promote your brand. Like, how can we get better
Right.
together? And this is happening. And this is, in my opinion, this.
Bro, I want to see everybody win, man. You know, and I've been like that my whole life, man. But I remember my first gig, man. I got like 6 other guys from my neighborhood a job. Some guys remember that to this day, and these are successful guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're like, "Yo, you got me my first job." You know what I mean? It's the same mentality with this. Like 2 young boys, my brother's age, reached out to me a couple weeks ago, back-to-back days, and they were like, "Bro, I got this idea. I want to get an LLC. How do I go about doing it?" And I gave him a rundown. I said, "Bro, I'm gonna give you. It's free game.
Right.
I got it for free. I'm gonna give it to you for free, but I'm gonna give it to you in a way where you can just get right to it. But that idea you have,
Right.
keep building on it.
Capitalize.
Exactly. Don't. You just told me the idea. Don't let it go to waste.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, bro, everybody gets the game. Free game, everybody.
So my mind goes crazy. I got an internship here, college level, high school level kids, and
Oh, you got an intern here.
well, we've put I think six kids through internships
Oh, that's what's up.
over the years,
Yeah.
and the idea is just a hands-on experience.
Right.
In order to learn something, you have to do it.
Right.
It goes right back to doing, right? So if you want to be it, you have to do it. The idea is if a kid is in the business and they want to know how to run a business, operate a business, see what it looks like, why don't we have them come in here and do it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Ride the hit.
Yeah.
Just watch.
That's the best way.
We got a format. These are questions, and you'll have an understanding of what you did in the last 90 days or 100 hours, whatever it is that they had to achieve to finish the program.
Right.
There was a time where I was scared of that idea.
Right.
Who am I with for a college? My signature
For a college intern.
for a college internship. When you do something enough, so this is why you should do things often, you build confidence. At the time, the first time it was presented to me, I was like, oh no, I can't. But then you start to see a bigger picture.
Right.
And you start to, that's why evaluation is such a big deal. We say, what do you do every single day? Like, take evaluation on what it is that you're doing. Evaluate what you're doing. And if what you're doing is good and it's working, polish it.
Yeah.
And now you can walk a little taller in it.
Right.
Because I know I've been doing this I've been doing this since 2013. You're witnessing me right now get more confident telling my story.
Right.
Because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but I'm an OG in this shit. And we're not done. And I don't know nothing.
Right.
I don't know nothing, but I'm building the confidence. Like we are rocket shipping.
Yeah.
We are, right? You're sitting in the rocket ship
Yeah.
chair right now.
Take off.
So I appreciate you blessing me.
Yeah, man.
How can the people reach you?
All right, so on Instagram, I'm at uken_TK3. That's my personal Instagram. My business Instagram is uken_activewear. If you ever need any HVAC work done, check us out. 15 plus years of quality experience. D&T Prime Climate Control. On Instagram, it's Prime Climate Control. Straight like that. And before I get out of here, I want to shout out to Rev It Up. We didn't talk about that. Rev It Up is a small jiu-jitsu gym blowing up crazy. They're on a high rise. They've been around for about 2 years now in West Berlin. They have so much to offer. Jiu-jitsu, karate, plenty of stuff for adults and kids. I run the boxing program there. Shout out to those guys. Rev It Up NJ.
That was a commercial. He ain't know. What is boxing? You box, right?
Yeah, so
What is box like that? What role was that played for you?
So growing up, I was kind of born into
That was a
it.
dope ass commercial though.
Appreciate it, dog. So real quick, man, boxing, man. I was like born into it, right? My dad was a fighter. My grandfather was a fighter, and not like I'm not talking like just some guys that just it was a hot. They were legit fighters. You know what I mean? Like real Philadelphia, boxing capital of the world. Old school fighters, and all my uncles, great uncles, everybody was a fighter on my dad's side. And when I was born, my dad was still into the game very heavily, and I was around it from infant. My mom carried me in her watching my dad train at the gym.
Right.
And I say when I got about 7 years old, I really started loving it and, looking forward to going to my dad's and, Dad, let's go to the gym. Let's go to the gym. And it wasn't until I was about 10 where he actually started to really like he had taught me little stuff up until that point, but when I was 10, he really put the gloves on me, allowed me to spar with other kids, and really started to show me the game. And I'll never forget my grandparents. They lived in Memphis, Tennessee, until I was 2001. I was like 13, and they moved back here then. And I had been boxing for like 3 years at this point, and I had a little video camcorder right at the gym training. My dad recorded, and I took it to my grandfather's house, and I'm excited I'm gonna show my grandfather what I've been doing. Man, we popped this tape in me and my dad, he will attest to this. It made my grandfather mad. He chewed my dad out.
That boy ain't doing it right.
He said,
You know better than that.
What is this? Y'all got me watching.
Oh,
That boy can't fight.
that's
He said, I'm gonna be at the gym Monday night, right? So then it got real because my
Right.
grandfather, he came to the gym and became my trainer.
okay.
At this point, I had probably 10 amateur fights. I won all of them.
You fought in the ring
Oh yeah,
with a
absolutely.
referee.
Yeah, amateur.
Yeah.
Yeah, from 12 to 17.
Wow, that's prime time.
And
You ever been punched in the face with a glove on?
oh man, everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
I don't want to play that game. I'm thinking, I don't want to play that game. That's dope. That's dope.
So that's how that all started, man. And then my grandfather really got me. When he came in, I was 13, bro. Not to toot my own horn, but I was training with grown men, and that's where you learn that.
Right.
You ain't gonna learn training with jokers at the YMCA.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So at 13, I was putting down grown men.
Yeah.
And some things happened. Accident at woodshop actually is what took me out the game.
Really.
And I just never got after that. I never really got back into it. But I still had the love and passion for the sport.
Right.
And with Rev It Up, the owner. There's two owners, but Miss D, her son was a classmate of mine in high school, and he saw what I was doing with UCAN back into the gym about 2.5 years ago, and he reached out to me on Facebook and said, "Yo, my mom just opened up a gym. Come check it out."
Right.
I'm like, "Cool, I'll come check it out." And it was a while, I had forgot about it, and he reached out again and said, "Yo, bro, I want you to come see what my mom's got going on." And I said, "All right, bro, I'll be there." I went over and immediately fell in love with their facility, with their person. I met D, Adam, fell in love with their personality, what they got going on. And they wanted me to originally go over and do strength training, weight training, you know what I mean? And we got to talking about combat sports, and I said, well, I'm from a family of fighters. You guys want boxing? I could, run a boxing program for anybody, kids, adults, it doesn't matter. It's very simple, boxing fundamentals.
Right.
You know what I mean? Learn the basics, and you get a heck of a workout.
Right.
And they're like, let's do it. Now, I had never trained somebody in a group setting, like group classes. So like you were saying earlier, with the intern thing, I kind of was like a little, not scared, but you know, I come like, well, who am I?
Right.
You know, I watched my dad do this for years though, because he used to be like the Billy Blanks of Philadelphia at one time.
Right.
Like, and you know, he was like a fitness guru, and I remember watching the classes that he was doing, so I kind of had an idea of how I wanted to do it, but I had never did it before.
Right.
And I remember Coach D was like, "You just gotta do it."
Right.
And when you're out there, it's gonna come to you. Just start talking. And after my first class, man, I was like, I think I found it.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I've been there, you know, been rolling, man. You know, COVID slowed things down, but you know, we're back rolling again. They got packed houses again. So
What is the schedule for you? You're driving the train.
it's crazy.
10 hours a day.
So right now I'm on an 8-hour job, but most of the time I'm on a 10-hour job. 3 days off, 4 days
So
off.
of your 24, 8 to 10
On the train.
on the train, you got a clothing line. You're a boxing coach. Just started a new business with the heating and the HVAC. You're a father. You're a husband.
Yes, sir.
You got a dog.
Yeah, big boy too. A puppy, Connie Corso.
Somebody asked me one time, how you find the time?
You make time.
You can't make time.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, how you find the time?
Man, my day starts, I'm sure your day starts just as early, but my day starts at 4 a.m. every morning.
Yeah. So it's what you're doing with your time.
What are you doing with your time?
What are you doing with your time?
Right. Yeah, I go to work to a place that, you know, provides me the life I live now, right? But I know I want more, but I go there to provide my family with the life we want to live. And it's like, I have to do this. So I get up at 4, right? I'm at work by 5. I get done at 1, right? But then I come home and I put in the work, the real work that I want to use to leverage to get me out of that 9 to 5. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, like you said, man, it's tough because you got to balance your time with your family. You know, you gotta stay on top of your business, right? You know, and that's a whole nother monster in itself. I got a puppy, 9 months old. You know, full of life. It's like you come home tired, you want to chill. He like, no, Dad. He like, nah, man, you been going all day.
All day.
He chilling with mom, sleep all day. As soon as I walk in the door, he turned up. You know, then my oldest daughter who lives with me, my youngest lives in South Carolina, but my oldest daughter, she's a competitive cheerleader. I'm a cheer dad.
That's a whole
So
sport.
she's Sunday to Thursday, she's dual on 2 teams.
Right.
You know, we were just at her comp last night. They hit 0, and they got their jackets from last week's comp. Shout out to you, Haley.
Yeah.
And shout out to my baby Bella. But it's crazy, man. But my wife, she supports me through everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's there to help me. My business is her business because some of this stuff, man, is because of her too, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's busy. It's just like you said. What do you do with your time?
Right.
I could go home every day and go to sleep.
A whole 90%. You're the 99% do.
Yeah. Yeah. Bro, what time do you go to bed at night?
I'm lucky if it's 11 o'clock.
And you're up at what time?
4:15, the first alarm goes off.
Y'all hear that? Don't let nobody tell you you need 8 hours of sleep.
What are you doing with your time?
Right. Right.
Because you'll find a way.
Absolutely.
You'll find a way.
Especially if you got something that motivates you. You know, if you're doing something with your time that you want to do with your time,
Right.
sleep ain't gonna matter.
Right. I can't wait to wake up in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, bro. Absolutely.
Sometimes it's hard to go to sleep because you get in the zone.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I'm
dog.
get creative. You start thinking of ideas.
Yeah.
You can't write this idea down when you're on the train.
Right. Right. So you know what? I repeat it in my head until I can get off the train and put it in my notes.
Right. Right. So that you can be up at 8, at 9, 10 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
drawing it out, coming up with a plan, dreaming.
Yeah.
So
you
you
know
can
what gets
live
me
it.
excited, man? Like just watching something that you thought of happen. You know what I mean? I never thought I would have a website that generates revenue.
Right.
When I get emails, it's new order confirmed.
How cool is that?
Yo.
So I'm learning Shopify.
Right.
Everything I've ever done has always been in-house. So now with the e-commerce is that's a part of business. You want to grow your business, you better find ways, and the way the world is going, you need to be able to adapt. E-commerce is where it's at. Absolutely. You can sell to the world.
100%.
And the first time I got a Shopify notification, I think I did some switches, came back to the truck, and I had a notification that said Shopify. I said, what? And it had somebody got a shirt, and I was like, I'm working, but my business is working.
Yeah.
And it's only working because that's how I set it up.
Right. Now you talking.
I set that up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That was the plan. And to see that happen, because I knew it was going to, I get it. I understand the concept. It's a matter of when and how's it going to look for me.
Right.
Right. So to see that happen, coming from an idea, from a plan, from me watching all the Gillies and everybody, like these business people, Derek Graces, all these people,
That's my guy too.
Derek Grace is the man.
Yeah.
He about to have me one of the first 500 people. That's man. He's a genius.
Yeah.
He's a marketing genius.
Yeah.
Marketing. Talk to me about marketing. You got some dope videos. You got a camera.
So, I have a lot of just through the last few years, creative partners, man. That's what I like to call them. You know, my two young boys, man, down in Egg Harbor. Their company is called the Visual Brothers.
Yeah. Shout out to the Visual
Alex,
Brothers.
And heck, shout out to y'all, man.
Let's talk.
Another friend of mine, Darnell, my cousin Gordon, photographer. It's like, man, I got these people around me, let's all make money and let's just make it work. Let's utilize each other's skills and make something work. But marketing, man, I try to, push like great content. And I'm actually taking a step forward, like dabbing into ads, right? Because I used to run ads when I first started, but I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
So I pulled out, but I've been doing research, and that's where I'm getting into, and that's going to help me tremendously with marketing. I've been talking to a few people. My tattoo artist, Jack, shout out to you. He was like, bro, if you ain't using ads, you ain't making no money.
Right.
And he just gave me a quick rundown and showed me what to do. And I can't wait to utilize this and give this game to somebody else because this man he literally goes to sleep and wakes up with 20 new appointments off of ads.
Right.
Because he was able to narrow it down. You know what I mean?
It's a skill.
Yeah. But yeah, marketing, man, my website was huge for me. We dropped that at the height of COVID. COVID hit March. We launched our website May. I was kind of skeptical about doing it because I didn't know how things were going to go. Gym shut down.
Right.
And I'm like, nobody's really seeing it, and this content in the backyard is getting pretty old.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I said, let's do it. I called up my boy, the Visual Brothers. They came through clutch. Actually, 3 days, man. They shot with me. They shot with my homegirl Kai. They shot with my cousin G. They shot with my brother. And they put together this dope promo video.
Yeah.
And when I saw that video, it only took them a couple days to edit this thing up. When I saw it, I was like, yo, you would have thought I was watching a Nike ad.
That was yours.
I'm like, this is me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the way it started out, I chose another narrative. You know what I mean? Like, and it was just like, it's time to drop this website. Because me and my cousin JB, Nehemiah Design, we had the website done. We worked on it. That was my baby. We worked on that together. My cousin, he's in web design. We worked on that for like 3 months, day in, day out. Everything from SEO to pictures in the right place to product. Like, we did everything, just me and him. And I was like, man, the world has to see this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But is it right to drop it during COVID? And me and my brother and my cousin were going back and forth like, should we do it? Finally, I said, you know what? I'm not letting COVID stop this. We are dropping this website. And we dropped, man, and the amount of support we got in that first day,
Yeah.
it was like, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Don't wait. Start now.
Today.
Today, right now.
Today, right? So today is the best day ever because today's the day you can start, right? Today's the day that has to happen for you to get to where you want to be. The decision to drop was the best day ever.
Right.
At one time, that was today.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Absolutely.
Today's the day that has to happen
Yeah.
for you to get to where you want to be.
Yep.
Stop waiting. And I'm glad we didn't wait to do this, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, you already know. This was needed.
This the Leaf Show, man. I'm still learning how to do an outro and all that. Like,
Yeah,
it's
shout
the
out
Leaf
to
Show.
The Leaf Show.
We
Wow,
wrapping
we
it
did
up.
X Athletics.
Yeah.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how this is, man.
We're going to get you a commercial, too. Until next time, my friends.
Yo, that was dope, bro.
What's that?
Yeah, man. I like what you got going on, dog.
Got them lights. Dang.
So, was that live?
Nah.
Nah, all right, so you just chop it up,
Yep.
edit it, word.
But we
Gotcha.
just, this is the next year of content.
Yeah.
Like, 6 months.
yeah. Facts. You could just,
One part of a conversation.
yeah.
If,
Nah, I've seen how you like
Yeah.
posted, like you chop
you got
it up.
60 minutes. If you got 60 minutes, you got 60 clips. That's
Hell
2
yeah.
months of posting.
Yeah, facts.
We're talking about marketing and branding and
Yeah, hell yeah. And the way I like, the way you shout out your young boy, you know what I mean? That's something he could utilize.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
yeah, I can't
absolutely,
wait.
dog.
Oh, I forgot about that. J. Lou, we still recording.